Good afternoon. Welcome back to American Truck Simulator. This is David Steele. I'll be your host today. And it's only just turned afternoon. We are in California, I believe. You know what? Are we in California? Yes, we are. We're close to Barstow. I thought we were. So we're in beautiful sunny California today. The forecast is showing reasonable. And we're going to take a load of tires. This is another one of my, hey, I'm driving a custom modded engine videos. But that's okay. Because, well, most of my trips really are doing this, let's face it. So here we are arriving at Coastline Mining. A little sensitive there to the brakes. We're in my wonderful fleet specification Kenworth T680. I've really warmed to this truck. And if you've seen me in any streams, you'll recognize this color. It's the Peterbilt yellow. I don't know what it's called in terms of what Peterbilt actually call it, but I'm calling it a fleet yellow. So what we have here is a long wheelbase T680. It's a 6x2, so the only driven axle is the middle one. That means it'll wheel spin if you're carrying heavy load in the rain. We're good with that. We have a Eaton Fuller 13-speed transmission. I'm going to back it around this corner here. It's behind this green building. That's where my cargo is. Got the whole fleet spec thing going on there. So we're looking at grey, blackish fenders or bumpers and side skirts, mirrors. The front hood mirrors are this kind of like chrome effect. I'm going to pretend that they're chrome plastic. Don't bother with the sun shield because we don't need one of those. What we do need is someone that can steer properly. Whoa. Okay. I don't think I would be stuck there, but apparently I am. Okay. Let's try that again, shall we? Steel wheels. Because we don't need alloys, right? But inside we have a natty lemon squeezy air freshener. Please note other air fresheners are available, and you probably shouldn't squeeze this one because it won't actually do much. Let's try and back it around here. I don't think I'm particularly centered. I might be actually. Okay. That works. Let's just put my parking brake on. Let's pick up my cargo. Okay. Let's take a quick look at the rig in all of its glory. So it's a double today. I'm going to center the wheels whilst we do this. Yep, it's a double. It's not a particularly heavy cargo, but it's just 33,000 pounds. And I'm using what I would consider to be a kind of fleet spec engine. It's Cummins. It's a Cummins ISX 15. That's the 15 litre engine. It's rated at 450 horsepower. I think out the dyno it produces a little more, like 457 or something, and 1650 foot-pounds of torque. So it's no great shakes in performance, but it doesn't need to be. There we go, cleared that. Let's go ahead and watch me from the external view. It's a little easier to maneuver as well. So this particular engine, it has a custom torque curve, and I've been playing around with the shift points a little. Just want to see if I can at least enhance the SCS ISX 15, make the torque curve a little bit more realistic, but also make it so it'll still move off on a slope. See if I can just improve the efficiency a little. There's nothing wrong with the torque curve or the shift points of this engine with SCS until you use the 13-speed transmission, and it will generally rev out to 1,500 to 1,500 revs in 11th gear. I think it's 7 high, and then drop itself into top. Well, I really want this transmission to behave a little differently. I want it to go through 7 high, 8 low, and then 8 high. Why? Well, it should use a little less fuel, fewer revs over the distance covered. It's a little quieter. This is a Z-Mods engine, so it has a very great quality sound to it. Let's just go to this view here. This is dangerous because I can't see around the corner, but I'm sure there's no one coming. Actually, I'm really not. There we go. Okay. Quick check on my distance to go. So 144 miles. I reckon it's going to take me 3 hours. Get there at 4. I don't need to take a break until 5. So I should be good, right? I should be golden. We'll see. Okay, but first things first. Today I'm going to be driving responsibly. Well, mostly. It's just, I probably shouldn't use the interbrake or engine brake here. I'm actually going to stop and I'm going to go ahead and open a beverage of suitable strength for a trip like this. This is not an alcoholic beverage, and if it was, you couldn't see me. Get the thing open. Better just take the head off it. Let's just test that. Oh yeah, that works. Other refreshments and drinks are obviously also available. Your mileage may vary. Please don't drink at the wheel. You spill it. Not to mention... Oh, I can make it. He's in the left-hand lane. Yep, I can make it. It's all good. But I won't look just in case. Actually, I will look. Hey, snap! Alright. Let's get a move on. So I know this run through California pretty well. Why are you slowing down? Did I spook him? Maybe. So I've told the automated transmission to shift up just over 1500 RPM in the lower gears, and then shift up at the I think it's 1370 revs in the higher gears. And I've been playing around with these numbers quite a bit. The transmission will not always go to the high point. It usually will, but it will be biased depending on the low shift points. And I'm using 800 for the lower gears as a minimum engine speed, and 1065 in the higher gears. Now, why 1065, you're going to ask me? A lot of testing. I mean, a lot. Let's try top gear at that speed. Yep, so it'll do 50 in 8 high. I'm going to stick it at 53. So why 1065? A lot of testing. So I tried 1100 and I went down, I went up. If I go generally much lower than 1065, it gets bogged down in most circumstances. Let's see if I can go around this guy. Might bump up my speed just a little. Let's stick it at 57. Okay. If I go a much higher speed, it won't hold on to top gear with the 18 speed transmission. The 11 speed I use is something else. And if you're going to have an 18 speed with an ISX 15, you kind of want it to be able to cruise at 55 in top gear. At least that's my take. Not a real trucker, and yes, I get that sometimes you'll want the engine to be spinning quicker. With this 13 speed, it's doing 1200 revs at 55, give or take. So 1100 is not a problem. 1065, even less so. Here's my exit. The other thing I've done, I've told it to shift down when using the engine brake. I've reduced the strength of the engine brake quite a bit, but told it to shift down to try and compensate. But not to go stupidly high engine speed yet. Got a hill helping us as well.
Turn left.
Traffic from the right. Quite a lot of traffic from the... Nothing from the left. Oh, I stopped too far back. Okay. So I've given my variant of the ISX 15 quite a lot of extra torque at very low speeds, and I'm going to pull out of this white SUV thing. Okay. And that helps it move off from rest, especially when you're laden. This isn't too heavy a cargo, so it's not that big a deal. But try moving off with a very heavy load on a slope, that in real life you should be able to. It's an issue. Now, as I speak, I don't have a manual transmission. That will change in the coming days after I record this video, and maybe by the time you're seeing this, I'll be attempting to drive stick in a truck. Yeah, I've driven stick before. A truck's something else. Never had ranges to worry about. Right, so let's see if we go to 8 low. Any second now. There we go. There's 8 low. Okay. And we'll just let it shift itself into 8 high. What about now? Hey, it works. Well, look at that. Now we're overspeeding. We're overspeed. Okay. Gently does it around there. Quick check of my progress. Let's have a look. 82 miles. Yeah, I've covered about halfway. That's good. I'm going to just tap the cruise down to 55. I don't need to speed through here. Now, is this electric power station or on the right? I mean, I guess so. Where are the cooling towers? Is it oil fired maybe, or natural gas? The big tanks there. I mean, there's an oil field. That's a bit of a giveaway, right? Well, it might be gas, I suppose. As in natural gas, rather than petroleum spirit or petroleum gasoline. Or petrol, as we Brits would like to say, and that's such a weird word to say. That was interesting. It shifted down to 8 low and not 7 high. So let's see if it goes back up. It should do. No reason why it wouldn't. There we go. Alright. So I prefer this behavior. Just tweaking the shift points. I prefer it with the 13 speed. The 10 speed is not much you can really do. If it needs to rev higher than the 1360 or 1370, it will, to reach that minimum engine speed. But this is working beautifully in the 13 speed. And I'm sure I could use a taller final drive, or shorter final drive number. Let's check where I am on the map. Yeah, there's my second yawn. So we turn left a little bit up here, and I believe we have the grapevine to deal with. And that's another, yeah, we have at least a steep gradient, and that's the other reason why I'm taking this trip. Just want to make sure that it will downshift smoothly and will not stop. Because believe it or not, you can get the engine transmission combination to royally make a mess of things. See if we get some air. Nope. No, not quite. Could certainly do this if I go faster. It shifted down. Yeah, I'm going to tap down a little bit, I think. Actually, I'm going to use my service brake. Just flick back to the cabin. There we go. Okay, a little bit of engine brake. So this guy's slowing us down, and that, I'm guessing it's a heavy load. But he's also driving responsibly and slowing down for corners, and so that kind of figures, right? And our transmission's downshifting. We're in 4th. High demand is going up to 1800 revs. That's good. And up to 5 low. So it didn't skip a gear. And it did there. It's very interesting. It's what it's supposed to do. If you're under high load, it's not going to shift a gear. It wants to keep you at higher engine speeds. But once once the need drops off, I don't need to use the engine brake, David. Once the need drops off, it goes right back down to skipping gears where it can. It's a very contented sigh. Just trickle around this corner. Another yellow truck. I think all the best drivers have yellow trucks. There are a few that might dispute that claim from evidence that allegedly is witnessed on streams. I'm just a little unlucky with my control maneuvers, shall we say. Oh, another 2 white trucks, but no more yellows. Okay. I don't need to stop, but Let's make sure I don't go too out of control here. Okay, back on the power. I'm going to give it full power. That's full power right there. Can you tell? It's still short shifted. Okay, and again. I guess it's because there's a gradient involved. Tell it to do 45. Now I'm pretty sure I could shift it up to 8 and low at this speed, but I'm going to let the transmission worry about that. So I know I need to merge left. Nothing in my mirrors. Let's tap up to 55. Should go for the next gear anytime now. There we go. Beautiful. So I'm happy with how everything is kind of flowing together. Yeah, I'm happy with this. I've driven this road so many times. I don't know every detail, but it's a good. Well, the more you drive certain roads, the more you have an idea of what you would like it to do. And you can very quickly pick up when it doesn't work so good. So the downshift and transmission behavior when we slow down with the engine brake is pretty much as I want. He says as he nearly runs into someone. There we go. So it's not quite in the lowest gear. It's in first and not low. Bet you it selects low. Let's take a look. Yep, it did. I'm happy with that though. It didn't skip a gear. And it didn't skip a gear there, but I'm light on the throttle. So I'm not asking it to give me full power by any stretch. Let's give it a little bit more now. Well, smooth, fairly efficient progress. It's not revving so much that it's skipping gears. So seems to be okay. Now I don't know if I'm going to do a low speed parking maneuver. No, I won't. It's a double trailer. That's just not going to happen. I'm almost at my destination. Trickle it round here. Squirt of power. And off the power completely. It upshifted when I lifted off the power. There we go. Now it's downshifted 2. Tell the world we're turning left. No need to stop. A little bit too much service brake there, my bad. Okay, alright, well that was a successful mission.
You have arrived.
And a successful test, so let's see what the easy parking maneuver is. Right there, I could probably manage that. Let's just see how well it moves off under barely any power. Yeah, I mean it's great. If I give it a squeeze more, yep, it engages the clutch, I guess, a little bit, and off it goes. Let's try and center things up a little bit. Okay, well, go ahead and stop there. Parking brake on. Shut the engine off. Disconnect my trailer. Let's see how well we did. I reckon I'm going to get somewhere over 6 to the gallon. Oh, I might not get somewhere over 6 to the gallon, actually. It's a short trip, but 171 miles and 29.5 gallons, or 29.5 is about 6 to the gallon. Well, 6 would be 180 miles and 30 gallons, so okay. Little disappointed with that economy figure, but it's a short trip. And I was playing around with the transmission, and I'm making excuses. Well, hopefully you've enjoyed that. You know what to do if you have. There's plenty more videos like this that are going to be on the way as I explore all the engine choices that I'm going to be tweaking. So many transmissions to play around with too. And of course, who doesn't like a banana yellow truck? Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day. Goodbye.